Alright folks, and welcome back to the channel here for the preview for the game against St Mirren at the weekend. It's Celtic part. Celtic look to bounce back from their IBROX disappointment. We'll also talk about the big news about Kieran Tierney and his potential return to Celtic. We'll also talk about outgoings um, to do with Alexandro Bernabei. I'm joined by Alistair. How you doing, Alistair?
Good, thanks, mate. Getting there.
Aye, aye, good. I mean, Alistair, it's pretty. We'll get into obviously the match preview against St Mirren. It is pretty cut and dry. There needs to be a response, and there needs to be some certainty, to be honest, especially with team selection.
Yeah, I honestly think, mate, you need. I'm wanting. I don't know about you, mate, but I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing the game on Sunday because I'm expecting a bit of an edge, and I'm hoping for a bit of an edge, and I'm in no doubt we'll get it. It's just in
Mhm.
what form.
Aye, you're talking about the edge there. I think there needs to be some sort of an edge because this team have been rightly criticised this week, or not even this week, but since yesterday, this team have been rightly criticised. Because as we said, in the match reaction, the performance was nothing short of embarrassing. From every single one of those players, to be honest. And I don't like saying that about our own fucking players, but sometimes you need, if you're going to give them the plaudits that we've gave them this season. Sometimes if they don't, perform at that level that they can, then you need to give them that negative, feedback. And you know, it's all about how they take that feedback now. They've been criticised, um, because of how bad the performance was, and I fully expect Celtic to bounce back. I fully expect Brendan Rodgers to be absolutely fuming with that performance because that's not a Brendan Rodgers team.
Yeah. Yeah, and also fair play to Alistair Johnson. He must have said it yesterday. He said we um we took we took. I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said we took a punch in the nose and we move on. So
Aye,
we need to take it and we move on, but because we can't change it. So on to St Mirren, we see what happens.
aye. I think it was just a massive wake up call for the team, to be honest. But as you said, Alistair, we went over it for 40 odd minutes yesterday, so we've kind of spoke to death about it. I think, we need to just move on. I think, that's the most important thing. I think if fans, we can't really move on, then, I don't know what to say to you. We need to just move on. Stuff as is going to happen. Rangers are going to beat us. It's the way of it.
Well, it's their job now to make sure it's meaningless.
Aye,
But
exactly.
I'm
And
telling myself,
it's so important that we put ourselves in that position. And we've still put ourselves in a great position. We just need to make sure we consolidate that position and put all the pressure on Rangers when they're playing, and just make sure that we do. And made this clear. It's all about what we do, really, and then I think the rest it will take care of itself. Alistair, our opposition, St Mirren, are currently fifth in the league. They've had another pretty good season under Stephen Robinson. He seems to do a pretty decent job at what he's kind of got at his disposal. St Mirren, they did lose on the last match 2-0 to Kilmarnock. They also did beat Rangers on Boxing Day, as well. So it's it should be 3 points, but it's St Mirren. They can a tough team.
they're very up and down. Just, they're- I would say St Mirren are a bit like Hibs. You don't
Mhm.
know what you're going to get. They can hurt you, but they can also be red rotten. So um, you really don't. Anyways, I don't mean this in the nicest possible way. It's about us, Josh. We
Mhm.
turn up, and by God, we better turn up.
Oh, we have to.
That's all I'm going to say on that. But we need to just start the game well and cut. kill it early doors.
Mhm.
And
Aye,
we're kind of
definitely.
fortunate that we've got a reasonable run of games coming up.
Aye. We've got 2 home games. Am I right? 2 home games? Aye, because we've got a midweek game
2
against
home
Dundee.
games, Ross County and then Dundee. That's the next 4.
So we've got a really good run of fixtures there
Yeah.
to get ourselves just back on track. Hopefully, um,
To
alongside
shut
some players.
down the noise.
Aye,
To
to
use,
shut down the noise and just hopefully, and we better be seeing some January arrivals also going to that later on in the video. But it's just a performance. We need to just get back on the horse really and just do what we've been doing. But it needs to be a decent performance. We can't have one of these one half performances. I don't think even if we just beat Sitman, I think fans will still be a bit like, well, the performance is still not there. I think it's important. The performance, I think, is really important.
I'd love a kind of Ross County type performance
Aye,
at home. Remember when and even last week, well, I say last week against St Johnstone, that
aye.
kind of performance with both strikers scoring as well.
I think obviously St Johnstone and Motherwell, they're probably two sides you would expect to maybe beat 4-0, but you maybe want a 4-0 against a team like St Mirren who are only going to be as easy probably the St Johnstone because St Johnstone aren't a great side, let's be honest. So I think if we can get there and maybe get a few goals, as you said, get the confidence back in the players. Alistair, what about team selection? I think there's going to need to be some harsh decisions
I
made.
think you could after the game at the weekend and yesterday. This is the last time I'm going to say this. You could put all the names in a tombola and pull them out, with the
Aye.
exception of Carter Vickers. Let's be
Mhm.
honest.
I know
But
exactly. Because
I think
I,
I think on you go.
I just think there needs to be changes. I think there's some players, as I said, we'll go into team selection in a minute, who just have been putting this. I'm going to go as far as saying favoritism at times.
Yep.
Because, and I think,
Well, I've dropped to one player talking about.
it's scales, and I'm
Yeah,
not being disrespectful. But Brendan Rodgers, for me, clearly has some sort of favouritism towards him. And I know managers have their favourites, I get that. But to sit there and take trust, and I actually thought about this. He took Austin Trusty off at halftime in the cup final, and he said it was
why
tactical
not do
reasons.
that in the why not do that in the IBROX?
But then he took
That doesn't sound
I didn't take Liam Scales off when he's having one of a horrendous performance. It
yeah,
doesn't really make sense. Alistair, I may as well get into team selection now. For me, goalkeeper obviously will stay the same, Kasper Schmeichel.
yeah,
Part of me does feel he could have maybe done a bit about the first goal on Thursday,
yeah,
but we'll not get into it. Obviously, Johnston will continue right back. He just looked like he was coming back from injury, to be honest, on
yeah,
Thursday.
yeah,
He needs to get back into form as well. Trusty's back in for me, and he should be back in for the foreseeable future.
yeah.
And it's no disrespect to Liam Scales, but you spend £5 million on a centre half who, by the way, has done nothing wrong since he's got here. And don't hit me where he played in Dortmund. Like, let's get away with that. Every player was
Well, I've not
really
heard
bad.
anybody saying that, but
Aye,
to be fair,
aye. I think Trusty comes in. As I said, for the foreseeable. Carter Vickers will stay. I'd like to see Alex Faye because yet again, I don't think Greg Taylor's done anything to suggest that he should be starting.
I think
I,
Greg Taylor's my hobby horse at the moment. I don't see how you can pick Greg Taylor when it's clear for anybody to see that, that he ain't going to stay. So I
aye.
know Barry's only a loan, but you paid money to get him an loan for the season, so use him.
Exactly. And I'm going to go into that because it seems to be that we've wasted a lot of money with our summer signings. And
Yeah.
I think that's starting to go under the radar a bit. We have not played a £6 million centre half in a game at IBROX. We have, we've not played out five who we're paying to be here,
$1.5 million for.
which I know it's not a lot of money, but it's still money at the end of the day. We are not playing. I'm going to go into midfield in a minute, but we're not playing Arnie Engels in a game at IBROX when the guy cost us £11 million. So it doesn't
I
really
don't know
make
why
sense.
he's doing that. But I don't believe. I said it in the reaction. I don't believe he was sick.
No, he
I
wouldn't be on the
don't.
bench if he was that sick. We had a six squad at Dundee United, and there was none of them were on the bench. So why all of a sudden was Arnie Engels on the bench?
Yeah.
As to the midfield for me, where should be the most changes made.
Yeah.
I'm going with what Brendan Rodgers would pick, so I will pick Callum McGregor, who for me again needs to buck up his ideas. In all honesty, if I'm being, maybe I'm coming across really harsh here, but I don't. He's a captain. I think Callum McGregor's brilliant. He's done a superb job for us, but he's not immune from criticism, and I don't think he covered himself in glory at all on Thursday like the rest of them. So I still think McGregor will play because he's a captain, but if and I'm not the manager, but part of me would maybe even say have a rest and we'll maybe play Bernardo, Engels and McCowan or something but I will go Callum McGregor because I just think he is going to play. I would also play Arnie Engels. I just think it's self-explanatory again. I think he's in those last two games against St Johnstone and Motherwell, he was our best player. I would also Bernardo I think will still continue. I think he will still play Bernardo. I could maybe see McCowan, but I think it will be a midfield three of McGregor, Engels, and Bernardo. The front three is Dies and Maida and Nicholas Kuhn because frankly we've not got anybody else of quality in those areas. Up top, I would like to see Adamida get a start because I'm starting to get a bit of a bee in my bonnet about Adamida as well. Why did we sit there and chase a £9 million striker for the whole summer and then I still think get our pants pulled down with the price because we chased him the whole summer instead of being smart and putting a buy option. But why are we chasing all summer?
And I said on the, I'll never forget this. I said on the last January transfer window almost a year ago, it was you, me, and Nathan. I said, why are there not an option on there?
Aye.
If
And
we're buying a loan player, there needs to be an option.
Aye, and even if I don't know if we have wasted money because we've not got to run the team, which I just find ridiculous. Why? What was the point in chasing him for 9 months? What was the point?
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you, Josh. He just got to start because it would suit it. St Mirren are big and tall, so we're going to have to play that, in my opinion.
Aye,
Otherwise, what was the point in signing him?
No, what was the point in chasing all summer for him and making one of our record signings to just not play him? And
I'll tell you something else, Josh. And I know we don't discuss who's on the bench. Johnny Kenny should be on the bench because you can't have enough goal scorers. And at the end of the day, he's our player.
And I do because Adamida was Brendan Rodgers' man, and that's why I don't get it.
Yeah.
So why is he not getting anywhere near enough game time? I don't mean one game here or there. I mean, why is he not getting 3-4 weeks in the team to give him a bit of it? But I've said it time and time again. We're not playing to your striker's strength, and that includes when Nicholas Kuhn dies in Maida on the team. That's just a fact. Kyogo's in the team, we're playing the ball in high. Ida's in the team, we're playing the ball in low.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't make sense. But either for me has to start, and I think there needs to be a real. Rodgers needs to find out what his best team is. Because I do think there's been far too much farting about with the team.
I want to see hunger on Sunday because it was damning the lack.
Oh, it's
I'm going to
embarrassing.
say it was damning the lack of effort. And
You
what? Yeah,
can sit there after a game and go, a team can be technically better than you, right? Say the Rangers were technically better than us and whatever, but there was nothing, no technical, nothing, no fighting. That was the big thing. That's not a
right. It'll
Celtic side.
always be talent at the end of the day.
Aye, that's not a Celtic side, and there needs to be a big response. And I think there will be a big response because I do think this squad will be fucking fuming because they know how good they can be. They've seen it against Leipzig. They know how good they've been and they still have been good. I'm not going to sit here on bed wet. We've lost one game all season, and domestically,
Yeah.
it's hardly a car crash. But you need to make sure it doesn't become a car crash, and you need to come
But
back.
it's performances, Joe.
Aye.
When was the last time we had a consistent run of performances?
The last good performance Celtic put in was
For
Leipzig.
October?
Aye, the last decent performance I think we put in was Leipzig. Leipzig and Aberdeen in the cup. And that was October.
Leipzig
So
was a day after my birthday in October.
aye, so
So
then I think the Aberdeen game was in October as well. So roughly about October. And we're now
yeah,
on in January. So there needs to be real
January.
improvement. And there also needs to be hopefully, and we'll go on in a minute, hopefully that's going to results in performances in the league correspond with signings coming in the door. Now, Alistair, I said yesterday on the match reaction that I wanted to see at least one signing in the door first, second week of January. It looks like I may have my wish.
You know,
We seen,
telling the viewers about the phone call this afternoon when I said, "Are you psychic?"
so I don't know if I'm psychic, but it looks like Kieran Tierney is getting closer to a return to Celtic for a bit. So Romano reported, as you said, Alistair, on Friday afternoon. It looks like it will be a loan, and then when his contract runs out in the summer, we'll obviously get him on a permanent basis.
I think Josh, we better get this right, otherwise we'll get destroyed. I think it's going to be a pre-contract, and
Do you think
then
so?
we can negotiate with Arsenal. We'll need to negotiate with Arsenal to get him out. I think what will happen is we'll announce he's signed a pre-contract, and then we'll negotiate to get him out.
I do
That's
think
what I
Celtic.
think.
I do think Celtic need to try and be getting them because I think it's the and this is why I think Celtic should be trying to get the loan until the end of the season and then get him on get him on the end of his contract because this is Celtic are in need of a lift. They're in need of a lift with
Yeah.
quality, and I think there's nothing more than a
I mean,
big
you know,
return for Kieran
imagine
Tierney.
the atmosphere at the Dundee United game
If Kieran
before
Tierney
the
walks out.
game under the lights. I think it's a night game.
Aye, it's
Yeah, it will
something.
be. Yeah. So under the lights, Kieran Tierney comes out.
Aye.
And now I'm no normally for that, but in special occasions for big signings, and let's be completely honest, Kieran Tierney is a big signing
Oh, he is.
because make no mistake, he would have got a Premier League club. I have no doubt about that.
Aye.
I have no doubt about
Um,
that.
and
He
you,
would have.
aye, and I think I don't think a pre-contract at this moment in time is any help to us. If I'm being honest, I think we need him now. In all honesty, I'll obviously take the pre-contract and get him, but I do think we
All
need
I'm
him now.
saying is, let me clarify that. All I'm saying is, I think he'll definitely sign with a pre-contract. I think
Aye.
that's a
Um,
given. But however, I think we might need to maybe hopefully that's what the hold up as a confirmation, because if Kieran I wouldn't be surprised if he's already signed a pre-contract and they're just trying
Aye.
to negotiate a way out.
And I think, see, if you were to negotiate the loan, I think I think
Just
Arsenal
pay
would
it,
be. I think Arsenal would be fine to let him go if like the deal was fine, because he's not getting a look in at Arsenal. Zinchenko's ahead of him, even that is it Lewis Skelly, he's behind in front of him at the moment. So there needs to be, for me, it needs to be need to it's a position we need. I think what we need to get in the second half of the season is who is your number one left back? Because realistically, we don't know. We don't
We
know,
don't
and we
have a
can't.
number one.
And this is the thing. It's annoying me about the squad is the uncertainty at times when we don't need it. We don't need it. We need to
Yeah.
know who's our number one left back is. Not even just at the end of the season. Not even just at the end of the season, but full. It needs to be the second half of the season that we know who's going to be our left back. And I do think Celtic need to be trying to push a loan. So
And
we'll,
because to me, well, I personally believe Taylor's going. Taylor,
aye,
I don't think he'll be here at the end of January. Personally, I think you'll have Baye and you'll have hopefully Kieran Tierney as the two for the second half of the season, and then you get a replay. And then what happens with Baye in the summer will happen. That's my
aye,
educated guess. So
aye. But I think it's
Celtic don't let
aye, and we can't wait.
Celtic and you go.
We need to have a clear plan of what we're doing. It can't, and yesterday's result completely reinforces that. Um, the Celtic board cannot fart about. Brendan Rodgers cannot fart about. This doctor of football, whoever he is, can't fart about. There needs to be a clear plan of who Brendan Rodgers needs strengthened. Is that left back? Is that winger? Is that midfield? Is that whatever? There needs to be a clear plan and it needs to be executed. We can't have like last January where we're farting about for signings. Alistair, obviously the big thing about Kieran Tierney is that injury record. But for me, you take that chance. I think you take that chance.
Yeah,
You're getting somebody who was worth £25 million, who you sold for £25 million.
for now, for now, basically.
Aye. I do think Kieran Tierney's record is concerning. I'm not going to lie. I think you'd be stupid to say it's not concerning. I do feel sorry for him because I just think he's been robbed of a career with his injuries that he couldn't help. But if you do look at it, see over his career, Kieran Tierney has still played an average of 30 games a season. Now you don't need to play Kieran Tierney against Ross County, and with no disrespect, Ross County and St Johnstone at home. I'd be happy with a left back coming
We
in
need to
who
be,
was a backer, and that's
we
nonsense
need
that
to
you
be
can't.
smarter with the squad.
Aye, there needs to be a squad because there's not enough. There's not a first 11 there, and that's my big issue.
Yeah,
And at the
or
end of
no
the day,
a second 11.
there's not even a first 11 there, in my opinion. There's not a clear first 11. You can go. That's the Celtic 11. There's not like if you go at that because at left back you don't know. It's a lottery at left back at the moment.
Yeah,
But
who's getting pulled out the hat kind of thing?
it's centre half's a lottery now. What is Trusty Trusty going to come in? Or, what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying you need to play the same 11 players for 40 games a season, but we should look at a Celtic squad and go at right. Schmeichel's our number one goalkeeper, Tierney's the number one left back, Johnson's the number one right back, and so on. We don't have that, and we've got depth there, which is great, but I do still think you need that first team
Getting
quality.
into the Champions League qualifiers, I seen this online a couple of weeks ago. You could have a back five of Schmeichel, Johnson, Tierney, Vickers, and Trusty. That sounds all right to me going into qualifiers
Aye.
on paper.
But
Now,
I think it's going to be
if you
important that
could
we
get
manage
that,
Tierney's minutes. It's going to have to be important that we manage Tierney's
yeah,
minutes. Because we're not going to be able to play him 60 games a season. It's not possible, and that is the
and
fact.
also you're getting reportedly close to 5 million. So if Arsenal want 3 million for a loan, just pay it.
Aye,
You've got the money.
and
It's
actually,
not
a
as
player.
if you budgeted for that for Germany, for Bernabeu, Germany. We
Germany was
slip up there. And yeah, I was going to say that. You're getting that for Bernabeu, which, let's be honest, is bonus money.
aye.
Just hope nobody in Argentina is listening to this, but you would have gave Bernabeu away to get him
Aye.
off the baseball, let's be honest.
Well, we'll see what happens with Tierney in the next few days, but I think we'll hear a lot of news in the next week about what's going to happen with Kieran Tierney. I do think if he's going to come up in January, it will be announced, hopefully within the next week or so, and
Yeah,
hopefully there's news on it. You did speak about
just to be
Bernabeu.
clear, John, he can't play against young boys or Villa. Just so people would know that.
I
He
don't know
can
about
play in
that
the
because
knockouts.
I think you can actually. I'm not 100% sure. I'll need to, but I'm pretty sure that you can register 2 players. I think.
Yeah,
I think you can for the next 2 games, cause obviously it's in the middle of January. I think you can. But obviously you spoke there about
one
Alexander.
clarification on that.
Aye. You did obviously speak there about Alexander Bernabeu. It looks like he'll be on his way out to International. They look to have bid a bid of €5.5 million, which is probably equivalent to about £4.5 million. Seems to have been accepted today. So Alistair, it's another player who's went away and preferred him, has done well. But it's just something that's not going to.
Well, I can't believe I've actually made a profit on the guy, to be honest.
I think Bernabeu, I think there is technical ability in there. I just
Look at that.
I wouldn't even say that. I think that's harsh. I just think he's a young guy. I think, and he's had a kid. I think and there's a lot. I think there's just it's a new country, and it's thing. I've always had slight bit of sympathy for him because I just think it's just not been the right movie for him. I think there is I think if he goes to a Brazilian and an Argentinian, I think he'll be fine. Because I think we'll be a lot more comfortable.
We've been getting good reports, I'll give him that.
So
But
I just think it's been.
it's just not what.
It's not worked. I think it's just been maybe the right player at the wrong time. Personally, but good luck to him if he does move on. Other news: it looks like Odin Thiago Holmes going to leave on loan to LAFC in the MLS. Palma is wanted by Genoa as well.
Team, I'm just saying.
Nah, I wouldn't want him personally.
Team, I'm just saying.
Nah, I wouldn't want him personally.
No, I wouldn't either.
The time's passed, I think, for that. To be honest, I think there's bigger issues that we need to be addressing in the January window. But Alistair, it's just we need to start getting players who are nowhere near good enough out of the club, to be honest, and that includes Bernabeu, Palma, Yang,
Even
Welsh, players like that who are, we need to try and maybe get money for them or send them out on loan. I don't know, but it's good to see that it seems to be all go at Celtic at the moment with incomings and outgoings, and this is what we had to do it.
I'll ask you one more question on the transfers. How many players would you be happy with?
I'll tell you exactly now. Left back, which hopefully will be Kieran Tierney. A winger, preferably 2. And I don't know, just depending on how many people go out. I don't think we'll sign another striker because I think we'll get maybe Johnny Kenny come back and need a and Kyogo. So I'd say left back, winger, potentially 2. So hopefully 3, but I'm only relying on myself for 2.
Yeah, I was going to say 3. To be fair,
Aye, hopefully 3.
left back winger, and I'm going to say left back and 2 wingers. I'd be happy with that
Aye, that's what I'd be
because you
happy
need to
with.
give Queen Maeda a bit of a joke. Not because they're having bad seasons, but if they know they're going to play every week, performances will drop
Aye.
because they're not
No,
getting
but
pushed.
I think it will just depend on who goes out if we get 2 wingers in the building. Because I don't think they're just going to clog up the squad for the sake of it.
I think we
Ballister,
need to.
aye, we need to, because we've got 2 quality wingers at the club, and the rest of them aren't good enough. To be honest with you, Ballister, to end off, I may as well just ask your score prediction for the game on Sunday. What you saying?
3-0.
I'm going to go 4. There needs to be a there
Either,
needs to be a
either Kyogo and Kun.
I don't really care who scores. There just needs to be a response, and it needs to be a
No.
pretty drastic
Don't
one.
you look they'll score and give you the Vicky.
I don't care because it doesn't prove. It still proves nothing. He's still shite. Like it's anyway. But 4-0 for me. But I need to see a much better Celtic performance along with the 3 points for me because it's
I'm
needed.
pretty sure you'll get it.
Aye. But that's going to be it for the St Mirren match preview. We'll be back after the game on Sunday for post-match reaction. Hopefully talking about Celtic getting back to winning ways and back with another good performance. But until then, speak to you later and hail hail.